We never had a blueprint. We never had an idea that it would become like this. It all grew organically, and it's something that I'm super proud about. We started the Roadburn Festival in February 1999. First bands were Cathedral, Orange Goblin, Terra Firma, 35007, Celestial Season and Beaver. Until 2005 we did like 9 Roadburn festivals, but it was like, to be honest, it were like just an evening with a couple of bands, with a lot of visuals and projections on stage. In 2005 we were approached by the O13 venue, home of Roadburn. The O13 venue said like, hey, this will be the 10th festival, quote quote festival, and what if we do 10 bands? In the green room we had Alabama Thunder Pussy, High on Fire, Sun and Electric Wizard. And it was the first time that these bands congregated at one place at Roadburn, and suddenly the whole world was like interested in what we were doing. And then in 2006 we had like another Roadburn festival with Hawkwind headlining and a lot of other bands. It was sold out very quickly, and that was the start of Roadburn as we know it now.
I started going to Roadburn Festival, I think 2010, as a customer. We came with some friends from Finland and, kept going until we actually got to play here. There was something unique, I think, about the vibe of the festival, where the performances are something that are so intense. I think the intensity of how people also come there as almost like a pilgrimage or something like this. It opened my eyes to intense performances and how much effect they can have, and I think it had like quite huge effect on me and our band as like in our existence as well, and how those performances that we've done over the years have influenced our band.
We started the record label together with Tommy Pulkki around 2009, and I think we traveled to Roadburn a couple of years before that, starting maybe from 2006 or 2007. We made these kind of reports about the bands that were playing here. I was taking photographs and Tommy was making the notes and the text part for this Finnish magazine called Inferno. There was many special editions here that were only sold at Roadburn, and I remember that there were huge lines to get those records in time, because they were really limited editions. So from that point of view it was a really exciting time as well.
Coming to Roadburn ever since 2007, not every year, but that was my first year. And yeah, it's always been a place for me to discover interesting heavy music, obviously. And at one point, of course, we also got to know Walter and Becky, and started setting up a collaboration with Pelagic during the pandemic for Roadburn Redux initially, and then also a little series called Pelagic Presents in 2021, I believe, where we had a bunch of artists playing, and since then we always have a couple of artists on the lineup, and it's we always make the trip from Berlin with the team to just hang out, get to see a lot of people you talk to on email all year, and here you finally get to see them and get to meet, and spending these spring days in Tilburg exploring contemporary heavy music is always just a super enriching and amazing experience, even though we usually don't get to see everything we want to see because we just bump into people and get stuck, but that's part of the experience as well. And we love it and always come back.
Roadburn, it's been on kind of the radar for quite a few years, and I know that Matt McNerney, Mr. Quast, has set us up, tried to set me and Walter up many times already, and Walter has been like, I guess, semi-interested. When we released the Black Medium Current album, the latest Döda Heimskar album, I think I don't know, it gelled with him in some sort of way, so he wanted us to come to Roadburn and to do the whole Black Medium Current album. And I was so happy to get that proposition, because we are kind of in a genre where everything is nostalgia, like you have everybody playing their old albums, and so it's great for to be contacted to do something that's really fresh and very current to where you are as an artist and your situation.
Throughout the years I met several people that were talking about Costin, and I saw his artwork online. I was practically living online, and I was of course familiar with Costin's artwork because I'm from the metal scene as well, and I started to notice that a lot of the underground metal bands that I liked, the black metal bands I liked, and the more doom bands, that were suddenly sporting a lot of artwork by a Romanian artist called Costin. And I think we were introduced to each other like either online, and that we start meeting each other like at Roadburn and on other festivals in Europe, where we were like engaging each other, and we shared a mutual interest in art, in music. I asked Costin to help out with the visual language of Roadburn, and Costin, for the first time, he did an art poster for the festival. And suddenly Costin was involved in all kinds of aspects when it came to the visuals, backdrops, posters and such. And it was and that collaboration, friendship that we have is ongoing till today. And over the years Costin has done so much for the festival when it comes to our visual language.
I think there's like a connection that fixates on a detail of the music, and it kind of zooms in towards that, and then kind of starts expanding, and you look and hear things differently. It's like a kind of new interpretation of that vibe, and it can be different each time. In your art is like that, it feels like it's a one cell, let's say, from what it is, and then you, in your mind, you can zoom out and kind of see and hear things differently again.
So I met Costin initially in, I believe it must have been around 2008 when we toured with my band The Ocean. We toured Romania for the first time, and we played a show on the Black Sea in a small, well, I was going to say a small town, but it's not really that, called Constanza. And Costin was at that show, one of the probably 20 people in the audience attending. It was a very rough basement show, but we had a great time. Like very kind people taking care of us there, and yeah, Costin took some band shots somewhere at the Black Sea coast, I remember, and offered to do yeah, some artwork for us in the future, and that's how we started talking. And then I believe we met at Roadburn, and Costin did some artwork for The Ocean, some t-shirt designs, and later a bunch of yeah, some posters as well. We toured with Mono and Solstafir in 2015, and I remember Costin did that tour poster artwork. And since then we've been yeah, seeing each other occasionally at most of the time at Roadburn.
Well, when I think like Costin's book and the record we released and the art he has made for Roadburn, some really important thing for us to be involved with, and I felt that we were like growing together with Roadburn in the first years. I think it was a really big deal for us to cooperation with Costin.
Costin also did a lot of extremely special visuals for bands that did special shows. For instance, Paradise Lost doing Gothic at Roadburn. It was accompanied by an amazing animation. He also did it for My Dying Bride, who played Turn Loose the Swans, a special set by Napalm Dead, and by tons of other bands. In 2025, Costin returned to Roadburn as a graphic artist, as a visual artist. We asked him to have a visual take on the official artwork for Roadburn. Costin also did two beautifully graphic posters for Dutchheimskaart and Oranji Pazuzu.
How I got conscious of Costin and his work is actually watching a video where he probably doesn't put that much of credence or emphasis still, but it was a needing it video. What struck me with that video is that at some point there's a certain part that comes that is very emotionally kind of grand, and the boat comes out of the ocean, and I thought, wow, that's fucking amazing sense of timing, and that's the first time I thought that it would be really interesting to sometime in the future work with this guy. When I got the video, I was so blown away by it, and I remember also your email that followed the video. You were like, this is the best work I've done for a metal band, you know, or something in that regard, you know. So, and that felt really special as well, because then you think that, okay, so there's some meaningfulness for the creator as well, for making this a very good job, and also the music, I guess, you know. And me and my girlfriend, we were sitting at the living room watching it on a big fucking screen TV, and she was like, yeah, I'm just getting lost in both the music and the video, and they're pulling me in the same direction, different direction, every direction, and I knew we had something there.
It's amazing to see how Costin's art has evolved ever since we have known each other. In the beginning, especially the artwork he's done for the ocean was more abstract, actually. And now there's a lot of elements coming from animation, and it's very iconic and like just going through a lot of different influences, and every single piece is unique in its own right somehow. And it's really interesting to see the evolution from the early days and the more, let's say, more illustrated stuff towards the modern stuff, the modern era stuff. And I always find that very interesting to follow an artist on his path, you know, and see what happens throughout the years, and where it takes him next is always a very interesting question.
What I like about Costin's artwork, whether it's for like prog bands, black metal bands, psychedelic bands, or any other genre, Costin's artwork is about a dreamlike world. It's a world, his aesthetics fit the bands he's working with. So he's very versatile and very dreamlike as well, or very ominous in some ways, but on the other hand very spiritual too. So his artwork will always fit the vibe and the scope of the bands, the festivals he's working for, and that makes him a very unique artist. But everything is done in his particular style. That is something that is rare in this world, to find an artist that is able to convey the feeling of the music, the breadth of the music, the scope and the vibe into fitting artwork. And it's all of Costin's artwork is about his clients and not about him, and that is so good.